Hello, everybody. It's Christine and Beth from The Abundant Investor, and we're back with an episode that you do not want to miss.
Hi, everybody. We're so happy to be here. We have lots of really great stuff to cover today. So buckle up.
Buckle up. Let's dive in. Today, we're going to be talking about things that we're really excited about. We're going to be diving into women and winning and finance and opportunities. We're going to touch on some new things that we've got boiling here at The Abundant Investor. And we're going to dive into some stats around women in work and investing that I think that it might be new to you, some of them. And we're really fired up. We're fired up about changing the way that women invest. We're fired up about the power that we have as women and really harnessing that to make an impact and get more money in the hands of more women through investing.
You got it. And hey, we got to start off by recognizing two superpower women. One, Coco Gough, winning the U.S. Open this past weekend. But that ceremony, when she thanked Billie Jean King for 50 years ago, making sure that women were paid equally at the U.S. Open, how powerful was that? Accepting her check for $3 million. That was the same exact amount of money that the U.S. men's winner won.
I love it.
That, Christine?
50 years of equity in that U.S. Open match, and I just want to be part of bringing that to every other woman in every other industry.
Exactly, because I have a question. Where the hell is every other purse in sports and in general? Like, why is it like that in tennis for 50 years? Congratulations. Awesome. Thank you, Billie Jean King. And where the hell is every other industry and every other sport?
Yeah, 50 years. It's about time. Let's go.
You got it. Let's go. If they can do it there, we can do it everywhere. Because here's some of the stats that are really showing that we are light years behind as women. Here's one. 20%, 21% of all C-suite leaders in finance are women. 79%, that means are men. Where are the women? We're not getting seats at the table. That is an extreme disparity between the leaders of these financial services companies. And every single one of them has some type of a DEI, one of their main goals is for more diversity, inclusion, and all of that, but it's not happening. It's not, they're setting up committees, but where's the action? The numbers aren't changing.
Yeah, I'm so tired of the pace of this. It's got to change.
It's got to change. 10% of CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, female. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let's talk a little bit about venture capital funding. It's even more paltry.
Oh my God.
It's moved 2%. Recently from 2% to 3%. I mean, come on. Let's go. I mean, this is where the big bucks are. Mm-hmm. This is where the big money is. Where is the support for women?
Exactly. And women, when you give women money in venture capital, they tend to do better. They do. The stats say they do better than men. The return is better. Some of my most admired former clients, men in the tech industry that I know, they invest their own money in women because they know. And yet, as a woman, to stand in front of venture capitalists and try to raise that money, it is so challenging. And I hear this. I've worked in that industry a bit in my marketing consulting role, and I've seen it. And it is just staggering how challenging it is. Even the women in venture capitalists are having a hard time investing in other women sometimes. And it's just really disappointing. And I think that it really gets to change. The women who get the money and they build these businesses are doing phenomenal things, like really and take a different approach that's more modern, more inclusive, more creative. And just imagine what's going to happen when more VC money gets into the hands of more women.
Yeah, absolutely. We have just each read an amazing book called Pitch the Bitch by Kelly Inwingit, and it's so good, and it's gotten us really fired up. It's really fired up. It's incredible.
It's another one of our favorite things. And
Yes,
let's just tell people a little bit about it.
yeah,
Kelly Inwingit is has worked in finance for a long time. She's been in a lot of old school type companies. She knew it was eventually going to be time to start her own thing, and now she supports so many women. She's got funds. She's an investor, and she tells the story of the way that it's been forever and why women are so well poised to be wonderful investors because we know what we're doing. We are willing to do the research. We're great investors. Warren Buffett tells people to invest like a woman.
yeah, I love
That's
it.
not very well known, right?
Yeah,
And she reveals and I love her punchy, fiery attitude about it, revealing the way that it is and how it gets to change.
yeah, 100%, 100%. As many of the listeners know that I spent a lot of time in real estate, 15 years managing real estate offices. And I just want to throw out some stats about real estate agents because we all know that there's more women in real estate as agents. 63% of realtors are women, but only 42% are broker only owners and 47% are managers. And this is the stat. Listen up to this. And if this doesn't get your goat, it's just only women earn as agents 72% of what men earn. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Where there's more of us in the business. Why is that the situation? I mean, a realtor spend a lot of time negotiating with their broker owners what their split is this big like to do in real estate, right? Well, why are we more up in arms about the fact that as women we're performing 25% less in terms of take home pay than men?
Yeah.
I want to change that. I as a I don't that just it shouldn't be that way. I've led some fabulous female agents that are so good at what they do, and there's no reason that we shouldn't be performing better as a group in that industry. And in financial services, why we only have 21% of the seats at the big boy table.
Yeah, it has been the
that
big
was
boy.
air
Let's make
quotes
it the
for
big
those that
girl.
didn't see me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's change it. It's incredible to think how slowly progress has happened. And one thing that's got us very fired up as well, we shared this on social media recently, is that by 2030, women stand to invest $30 trillion in assets. The baby boomers are passing this down. This is a huge pass down of wealth, and it's a huge opportunity in our eyes to start to change the way that basically we run the world. Because with women in control of these dollars, if they know how to invest them well, then they really have a hand in changing the trajectory of the way that we work, the way that we live. Women with money are changing the world in very compassionate, purposeful ways. Women with wealth are showing other women, they're showing their daughters, they're showing their granddaughters the possibilities that they get to enjoy life, that they get to do all of the things, create the experiences, because it is experiences that we're really after more than things. And we get to write the checks to the organizations that we really care about. And it's proven that women give more away than men. And our world needs a lot of healing right now. And I really feel that with more money in the hands of more women, we are going to have a big impact on that in our world.
You got it. You got it. And I think one of the things that we've talked about a lot, Christine, is what is wealth, right? We've talked about your rich life. And yesterday I heard somebody say that wealth equals wellness of mind. And I love that because I think as women, we get to look at the view of investing in a much wider lens, right? To look at not just stocks and bonds and mutual funds and Wall Street and all that kind of stuff. We get to say, what is wealth and what is investing and how wide is that spectrum? And I think let's just talk a little bit about that for a second, because if you think of investing I think a lot of us automatically go to investing is is the New York Stock Exchange. It's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, but it's a lot more than that, right? It's not just, high yield savings accounts and all that kind of stuff. It's real estate investing. It's buying Airbnbs. It's buying, fixing and flipping, right? I think we're getting to see a lot more of that thanks to HGTV and all that kind of stuff. But it's also things like alternative investing, venture capital, supporting women-owned businesses,
right?
Maybe buying your own business, being an entrepreneur,
investing in yourself.
Yeah, investing yourself. Getting a small business loan. There's a lot of small businesses that are owned by baby boomers, and there's going to be a massive shift to what's the next generation. Their kids don't always want that local store, but maybe that local store that you've been going to for years is something that you love and you're passionate about. Well, that's investing. Buying a business is investing. There's a lot more to it. It's really thinking about, how do you earn your money? And are you satisfied with how you earn your money? And whether that's your career or how you invest, we want to zoom out a little bit and look at it with a much wider lens.
Absolutely. I think what you're talking about too there, Beth, is changing the paradigm of how we earn a living. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the old school way of working in a W-2 9-to-5 job, right? We've seen this as we've gotten more into the real estate investing world. Women who get into real estate investing are finding ways to make really good money. They're leaving the jobs that they didn't really enjoy because they found a new source of income. And a lot of them are even able to retire their husband. They pull their husband into the business. They are living the dream because they're working the hours they want to. They've bought themselves time and freedom and the lifestyle that they want. And that's what we're talking about here. We're not just talking about dollars in the bank. We're talking about creating the life that you want through investing and finding ways to use your money to make money. And it doesn't always have to be your money, but using money to make money. That's really what this is about. And then going back to the definition of wealth, well-being of mind, that's what we all want. Like that's within all value. Like anyone I coach, we talk about values, one of the first sessions, and it's so much about what are your values. Everyone values to a degree freedom. Everyone values peace of mind. We want peace in a world that's really kind of nutty today. And that's where this can go. And the more money that we have, the more our money can work for us in all the different ways that you just shared. We want women to understand and know all of the options. Where else can you go to learn how you can make money with your money? And by the way, part of it too is your mindset and how you think about money, and being willing to believe that it's on its way to you, it's abundant, and that it is your birthright to receive it.
Right. It's faith. We've talked about that. It's belief. It's having the confidence to believe that there's a better path for you. And sometimes you need support in building that confidence, and we want to be here for you for that. We believe that there's a path that's right for everyone, and sometimes it's understanding what those options are, and then having the faith to believe that there's a better path for you, and mapping that out, and then having the confidence to march down that path
and take the leap. Exactly. Take the leap. Yep. Exactly. And I think like the patriarchy wanted women to feel like we're in competition with each other. And we know that one of the most powerful things as women is when we band together. There's nothing like it. You and I both have these sports backgrounds. I think being part of a team was so foundational to our beliefs today. And we know that when you are part of a team that is strong and connected and believes in each other, you can do anything. And that's part of where we're going. That's part of our direction, is bringing women together and lifting each other up.
You got it. And like you said, Christine, when we were talking offline, I wrote this down because I love it so much. The more we support each other, the higher we soar. And it's true. It's true. And you can see it in, we both have had experience in our professional careers watching that happen, seeing people genuinely cheer each other on and support their wins and, celebrate their wins. And we've seen that, as you said, through sports. Look at that collective excitement we had the other day when we saw Coco Gough win and Billie Jean King being there for her. That's what we're talking about. Let's spread that energy across investing.
Yeah.
In all these industries, financial services, real estate. Come on, we can be better.
We can absolutely be better. We can teach each other what's going on. I think a lot of the pay discrepancy comes from not being open and comfortable sharing about money. And I think when we were also talking offline about how we had to, in some of our past experience, have sign non-competes and not be able to share things. And, I had an experience in my career where I was a consultant. I brought 2 other male consultants in, and we were very open with each other just by nature about what our client was giving us. And I learned that although the client told us we were being paid equally, he said to the 2 men that I was working with, "Oh, and let me give you a stipend for your health insurance because you have to provide for your family." So there's an instance. I think sometimes people even think that they are being equal, and then they'll do something like that consciously or subconsciously, not treating everyone the same, not giving the same parity to women, right? And so important to talk about that, to talk about what we're making and support each other through all of that. Let's talk about investing.
Yeah, and let's just, to that point, Christine, let's support companies that are transparent in their compensation models.
Yes.
Let's support companies that do that. I think that that's something that, it's really important. And when a company is being transparent and open and opening the kimono and showing everybody this is how our compensation structure works and it is what it is, let's celebrate that, because that kind of transparency is what's going to move the needle.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Here's a quick story I didn't even share with you. When I was investing, we've also been talking about how I've recently invested in this new multifamily, and I was looking for homeowners insurance out of state. And so I called a agent in the state I was in, and I found this awesome woman I was working with. She was so helpful to me after talking to a few people that were not. She was amazing. She said, "I know exactly what you need. Let me set you up. I'm going to stay late and get this done for you because I realize you need this tomorrow." Well, she was awesome. I went onto the company's website and I saw that all of the leadership was white males. And I was so bummed out. And I sent and their emails for everyone was on that page as well. So I sent the president of the local company a note saying how wonderful Robin was. And I praised Robin and I copied Robin on the note. And I also said, I would love to see you diversify your leadership team as well. So I think little things like that we can do, put a stake in the ground and say, this woman is awesome. And let's get more women in leadership, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We all can do little things like that all the time. And that is part of it really is a movement. And we all get to be part of it. Every action's a vote for what we want. So let's take action in the direction of what we want to see come to fruition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think a big part of that, Christine, is thinking about your own relationship with money. We talked a little bit earlier about money mindset, but really saying, okay, where am I in our finances? If you're part of a couple of some sort, the idea of like stepping back and letting your partner handle everything, that also kind of has to end too. Women outlive men. That's a known fact, right?
Yep.
So, I look at my own mom, who I love dearly, but when my father passed, she had never written a check in her life. Like, that generation has to go. That has to end. Like, it was a big deal. Like, she's grieving my dad and she's trying to figure out how to pay her bills for the first time in her life. Like, come on. Like, I love you, Mom. But I was like, that will never happen to me. And I hope our girls feel the same way. Like, come on. it's not, and I think one of the shifts I've seen is like, okay, maybe the woman manages the household budget now, but do they manage the investments? And we want to move the dial on that too, because yeah, they should be managing it all maybe, or it should be a 50-50 split, or at least understand it and participate in it.
You have to know what's
Right?
going on. It's too important not
Absolutely.
to.
Absolutely. It's an investment in yourself. And it doesn't have to be like drudgery. It could
No,
be
it
like,
can be
it could be,
fun.
it can be fun and exciting. And
Yeah.
again, thinking about, maybe looking at the options of investing and expanding the view to say, okay, maybe it doesn't all have to happen in our 401k. Maybe we could roll that 401k into a self-directed IRA and buy real estate with it. And I could get more involved in that. Whatever it may be, there's options, and we know a lot about what those options are. So we're happy to sit down and talk to people and say, doesn't have to be, status quo. There's a lot more opportunity out there that you may not be aware of to start to get really involved in a fun and exciting way.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's so key, Beth, what you just said. We want to make it fun, and it doesn't have to be drudgery. I think I do think it's kind of fun to put on some good music, open up, close down my browser and open up a new tab, create, we have this free giveaway that we can link to in the show notes of our net worth calculator, and start plugging in the numbers for, I do it once a month, sit down and look at what do my bank accounts look like? What do my investment accounts look like? How's my real estate tracking? And then I think a lot of people would be surprised at what their net worth actually is.
Mm-hmm.
What if it is liquid? What if it can you take and go invest in property or invest in a syndication? And we'll talk about that more. What is a syndication? We want to talk about all of the options more. And I think that's the direction that we want to let people know we're going in, is that we're taking a step back to show you there is so much more to think about, and your options are so varied. So we love real estate in part because it gives women who naturally, I think a lot of women have an interest and an inclination towards real estate. It gives them a chance to understand. It gives them a chance to get their hands-on experience in creating something new. So I think we're all creators. We're all here on earth to create something. And if you don't feel like you're getting to be real creative in your job, and I see this with a lot of women who aren't real creative in their jobs, they love to decorate their house, or they love to design a addition, right? And so this is an opportunity. This is part of why I loved getting into real estate investing, is because it gave me a chance to go build something. I could visualize, I had a vision. You create the roadmap, and then you're interacting with the team. You're building the team. Like I was just telling you, I was doing out, in where my daughter's going to college, so that, and you're creating these relationships where you're creating something to cut together that's adding equity and creating value. And I just think that there's like, that is so much more interesting to me than taking the money and handing it to a Vanguard or a Fidelity to put into an index fund. No, don't get me wrong. I've got those too, right? Like I think a diversified strategy is important, and there are other ways to do things. There's
to complement it. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing, especially as your net worth grows and you understand where your net worth is and what you can maybe put to the side and do some complementary investing with. Absolutely. Doesn't have to all be in one bucket, and it shouldn't be. The diversification of that is a wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think we rely on financial advisors to help us plan our finances. And a lot of times they're not looking at everything, right? And that's part of why we want to expose all of the options to people.
Right. And zoom out a little bit.
Evaluate. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think, Christine, another thing that people can expect from us soon is a little bit more community around this. Talk about making it fun. We like to, we really want to build, stay tuned. We're looking at building a community and making it, fun to share wins and lift each other up and really, support each other in this.
Okay. You have to tell people about your mom's investment club.
Oh, yes.
My mind.
So my mom, in about 8 of her really good friends for many years had something called the Blush Investment Club. So when they started, they all wrote a check and they actually invested money into the stock market. So each year they would pick a stock. Each of them would do their own research and pick a stock and invest in that. And they'd meet monthly for lunch and make it, really fun. But over time, and then whoever's stock won, by the way, got a beautiful Tiffany bowl that they got to display proudly in their home as being the stock picker winner for that year.
So fun.
And yeah, they had a lot of fun. It was like, competitive, but in a really great way. And they formed great friendships. And when they were getting older and they realized that, time wasn't on their side, they cashed out a ton of the money and they all went to Paris for a week and had a beautiful, lavish vacation. And then over time, sadly, people started dropping out and they had to give the club up and because of health reasons and, all that kind of stuff. But it was a wonderful thing to see and a lot of great positive energy. And we want to take the spirit of that Blush Investment Club and bring it into the year 2023.
Yes,
and so stay tuned. We're working with that. What that is, we're bringing the best of what came from that, and making it so it's part of your life and not just a hobby, which really it was then. So yeah. I think we can really take the spirit of the Blush Investment Club and bring it into the year 2023 and raise women up. And so that's where we're working on that. So stay tuned and stay tuned for another big announcement from us as it relates to real estate. And that's all I'll say right now, but we're about to make some changes in our in real estate, and we'll be announcing that. And we've been doing a lot of work in research on some of our options out there. And so just stay tuned. We have some great announcements coming.
I'm so excited. I love the aspect of community and the idea that women can come together and learn to invest across the board in different things and get together and support each other, right? We can help each other learn based on our own experience. I love sharing what I'm learning as I invest in property. I'm learning as I go, and I'm happy to share it all. You have so much experience as well from real estate and financial services. We've definitely talked about what we both have, the permanent life insurance, what we've done with that. There's so much we can do. We get microloans to other women. We can get involved in a syndication, a fund. We can refer other women in finance, right? Like we talked about how it could be challenging to find an awesome female CPA, right? I think we've definitely talked about that before. Yep. So we want to bring together awesome women rising together so we can soar, where we refer the best people, the best strategies, and we share along the way. So
Amen. I love it. I love it. Let's take that energy. And so people in our show notes, you guys can get a good place to start is with the net worth calculator that we have that will be in our show notes. We'll also put in the show notes. We always say this. We'll put in an opportunity to sign up for a complimentary introductory call with us. All of this is so personal, and we're glad to hop on a call and help you kind of see where you're at, and if there's gaps that need to be filled, help you fill those gaps and put a plan in place. So. And we also, if you want to invest in an Airbnb, we have a course on an Airbnb. We have a lot of resources available, so we can pull the right resources off the shelf, and we're building a whole new shelf of resources. So we're excited about it. If there's something you want to learn about, reach out to us. Our email, the best email you could use that we both get is info@theabundantinvestor.com. So if you listen to this and you say, hey, I'd love to hear more about this topic or that topic, or I'd love to be a guest on your podcast.
Oh, yes. We're bringing guests on. That is so exciting. Yes. We haven't really talked about that, but we are bringing powerhouse women onto this show to talk about their experience, whether it's real estate investing, being an entrepreneur, how they've invested in their own business or themselves. Bring it on. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, women supporting each other, lifting each other up, sharing your story. We all have a story. Let's hear it. I'd love to hear your story. Absolutely.
All right, let's go. We look forward to sharing more. Stay tuned. And if you love this episode, please share it with a friend so that we can continue to build up this community and help women support other women.
Let's
Have an
go.
awesome day, everyone.
Take care.